A big change is coming to Alton Towers. Now, I'm not talking about the Nemesis retrack, although this is a huge development that has been confirmed and will be coming very soon. I'm talking about another refurbishment. This isn't to do with any of the park's coasters, this is a refurb for the park's most classic dark ride, Duel. It has been confirmed that changes are coming to Duel, which will be closing in just 2 weeks at the time of recording this video on the 6th of September 2022. This image circulated on social media yesterday, taken from Duel itself, confirming that the Duel is coming to an end. But what is next to this classic attraction? Could there be a full refurbishment as expected, or could there be something more? In this video, I'm going to be talking about the different possibilities that could be next for Duel for Haunted House Strikes Back. So let's quickly go back to the start and talk a little bit about the history of the ride before we start talking about the current situation of Duel and what the future holds. This spooky themed haunted house dark ride can be found in the Gloomy Wood area of the park, and originally opened in 1992, 30 years ago. In 2003, the ride underwent a refurb and received new scenes and a new soundtrack, as well as having laser shooters installed. It has been 19 years since Duel received its last refurb, and let's just say that it is definitely in need of a new one. Now, I've always had a soft spot for Duel. The queue line is great and it has some great little effects in there, and also it sets the scene really well for the ride itself. And as well as that, it's a great filler ride between all those major coasters in the park, especially seeing as it always has a short queue time. But the ride itself has needed a bit of work for quite a long time now. The effects inside the attraction are broken, outdated, and just not as good as they once were. Things have come a very long way since 2003, so it is definitely time that Duel received this refurb and was given the love it deserves. Now, I'm going to start off with what I personally think is next for Duel. I could be completely wrong, but these are just my thoughts. None of this is confirmed yet, but with a closing date so close, I'm sure we'll find out more information in due course. Now, I personally think that Duel will be receiving a refurb just like it did back in 2003, but of course with more up-to-date effects. If you look at other dark rides with this kind of theming around the world, just like the Haunted Mansion for example, which, by the way, I just picked up this Spirit jersey and it's one of my favourite things ever. So if you see me wearing this Spirit jersey in every video here on out, it's because it's now my favourite piece of clothing and I never want to remove it from my body. But going back on topic, it would be great to see Duel incorporate some of these effects which you can find in the Haunted Mansion, and I definitely think this is a possibility. I honestly think that they could also remove those lasers as well. Now, I do love interactive dark rides, and this is probably an unpopular opinion, but with the whole spooky horror theming, I think that those laser blasters do kind of ruin the vibe. So it would be great to see them remove those lasers completely, and stick to a more Haunted Mansion style ride, where it really tells a story as you progress through the attraction, and you don't have to focus on getting a high score by shooting those lasers. Don't get me wrong though, I do love interactive attractions. Some of my favourite rides in the world are interactive attractions, but just for the horror spooky vibe, it kind of ruins it a bit when you have lasers pointed at the wall. So yeah, it would be great to see Alton Towers completely removing this element of the ride. Now, the Duel building is massive. From looking at it from the front, it probably doesn't look it, but honestly it is actually really big. So they can do so much of this building. There's a lot of potential there, and I am very excited to see what they do with it. It was recently announced that Chessington World of Adventures is going to be receiving a Jumanji themed area, which is of course an IP, and I have heard rumours and speculations that Duel could receive a Ghostbusters makeover. So this of course would be amazing. I personally would love to see this at Alton Towers. It would be such a cool idea, especially if they did keep those laser blasters, then this would work really, really well. But to be honest with you, I just can't see it happening. I mean, it still is a possibility and it could still happen, but just in my opinion, I don't think it is going to happen, but we'll just have to wait and find out. Can you imagine how many amazing effects they could use in a Ghostbusters attraction? It'd be so cool, and I personally would love to see it, but I just can't see it happening. But if Duel doesn't get this Ghostbusters retheme, then Planet Coaster, they do have a DLC pack for Ghostbusters, so you can just go onto your PC and build a Ghostbusters ride yourself. Another possibility, something that could happen, and something I hope doesn't happen, is they could get rid of Duel altogether. They could knock down that massive building and build, I don't know, a roller coaster maybe? There's been a lot of talk recently about Alton Towers' next new coaster, and it is looking like we are going to be hearing some news about this very soon, but the main question has always been, where is this new coaster going to go? Now I personally have always thought that Rita could be the next coaster to be removed to make way for a new coaster, but some people they also think that the car park next to Galactica will be removed for a new coaster to be built in that area. But could the next new Alton Towers roller coaster be built where Duel currently is? It is a possibility. I don't think Alton Towers would do this, seeing as it's such a classic attraction, but we have seen this before with the likes of some of their roller coasters like Corkscrew, so who knows, it is a possibility. We don't know how long Duel is going to be closed for. All we know is it's going to be closed from the 6th of September, and to be honest with you, at the time of recording this video, Alton Towers haven't announced anything, so hopefully I am correct in saying all this, but it is going to be closed from the 6th of September, and hopefully after this date we'll start hearing news about what is going to be next for this ride. The sudden closure could also possibly mean something is planned for Scarefest, which begins on the 7th of October. In 2008 and 2009, Alton Towers introduced Duel Live, where they turned off the laser feature and brought in live actors throughout the ride to interact with guests. It would be really cool to see Duel Live return again, but with the ride closing so close to Scarefest, I can imagine it will be pretty much impossible to refurb the whole ride, as well as bring back Duel Live. Something else to come from this is that we will hopefully receive some more Duel merchandise. There's always been little to no Duel merch, apart from the odd pin badge every now and again, so it would be great to see a Duel shirt maybe commemorating the ride. It has never been the most popular ride in the park, but it's still a classic and a part of a lot of people's childhoods. So it would be great to see Alton Towers bring in some more merchandise for this ride. And seeing as it's looking like the Duel part of the ride is coming to an end, maybe we'll get a brand new name for this attraction. So possibly there could be new merchandise under the new name too. The fact that the sign says that the Duel is over makes it sound like those lasers are going to be removed, and as I mentioned, I really hope they do this because it will make Duel a much better attraction, leaving it just a haunted house ride rather than an interactive ride, and they can really go to town on the theming too. And honestly, if they were to do this, then I can see this being one of the best attractions in the whole park. So these are some of the possibilities of what could be next for Duel at Alton Towers. What do you think is next for this classic attraction? Let me know down in the comments below. But that is it for this video. If you did enjoy watching, then please consider hitting that like button to let me know. And if you are new around here and you're feeling extra cheeky, then please consider hitting that subscribe button and ringing that notification bell so you don't miss a single thing, because we make plenty of theme park and adventure videos here at Arcadia Adventures which you don't want to miss. Do you want to hear more about what I think is next for Alton Towers? Then click this video right here. Or do you want to check out our most recent vlog from Alton Towers from the Mardi Gras event? Then consider checking this one out too. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next one.